This episode of The Basic Filmmaker is brought to you by
Big Boy Filmmaking.
Sliders.
Time constraints.
Fire?
Parody.
French brother. Shirts in my closet.
Time.
Baloney.
Stern leadership.
Red recording lights.
My snakes.
Konova contest winners, and this is the 100th episode. I had no idea what I was signing up for when sponsoring a contest. It's a lot of work and I had a really hard time choosing. I'm gonna show all the entrants who qualified in a moment, but a few things first. The winner will receive one of those yet to be named Konova Auto Pen tilt things that mount on top of a Konova slider. A number of people mentioned being excited about receiving a Konova slider. That's not the prize, that's not what I said. If you don't have a Konova slider and win, you'll need to get one, and you should because they're fantastic. Judging. Ugh. It was so hard to decide on the winner that I reached out to a few friends for their opinion. DIY Camera Guy, he offered to help. Dave Dugdale over at learningdslrvideo.com and Noptop over at the Quick FX channel. They were kind enough to spend a few minutes watching all the qualifying entrants and to offer their opinion on what they thought they were the best. Thank you. Of course, reading the rules again, I made them. I said I'm the final judge, so, well, the winner I choose is my responsibility. The judging was rigged so anyone can win. It wasn't about lighting, focus, cameras, effects, nothing. The sole criteria was making something funny, doing comedy. I didn't allow myself to judge on anything else. Remember, these people weren't allowed to use any music or graphics or sound effects or anything they didn't create. So here they are in no particular order, the 16 qualifying entrants. Edwin Rees. Oh man, a cutout basic filmmaker logo, and I loved his voice. He's doing a parody of my Smackies episode. Loved it.
This episode is brought you by impersonating the basic filmmaker.
Alright, so I have to do this fast because I only have 30 seconds. So I was watching the Basic Filmmaker the other day, and it was about a contest, how you can enter and maybe win a Konova slider. How awesome. So here I am now, entering the contest. Oh yeah, I hope.
Wes Worthing. Wes covers the filmmaking 180-degree rule. This just makes me laugh every time I watch it.
Big Boy Filmmaking. The 180-degree rule is simple. If the temperature is 180 degrees, stop filming until you are no longer under nuclear attack. I hope that helps, and thanks for watching. Until the nuclear attack is...
Bruce Gaines. This is too funny. Check it out when he pulls off the glasses, and his two filmmaking tricks are awesome.
Hey there. My name is Hollywood, but you could just call me Hollywood, and you're probably wondering, where's the other guy who usually does this show? I have no idea. But today, on the Basically Makes No Sense Filmmaker, I'm going to show you some secrets. Take your tripod and an apricot, and boom! Works like a charm, baby. Always needed a second cameraman operator, but couldn't find one. More like a second catman operator.
Learned Justin. This was so cool. He went old school and he pulled it off. Looks like he went into his garage and shot this after coming home from work, which made it even funnier.
Well, it's 1932 already, and time for the average Joe to get into motion picture making. This is a still camera. It takes still pictures. Let me say that again. It takes still pictures. Now I'll talk more about a camera like this in future episodes. But until then, thanks for watching, and I help this hope.
Olivier Bollinger. Oh my god. The French brother? Check it out.
This episode of the Basic Filmmaker is brought to you by the French brother. Hi, I'm the French brother. Okay, you want to be a good filmmaker in only 30 seconds. You don't need this, that, all of that is bullshit. Find a microphone with a nice look, switch on the light, clap, which looks professional, and then action.
And that's a wrap.
It's so easy.
The American Nerd Project. I love how this guy talks a million miles an hour, and like many others, he does the hand thing and the counting with his fingers. I love this one.
This episode of the Filmic BASEMAKER is brought to you by Stern Leadership. So we have quite an important topic to talk about today, and the topic I've chosen is leading a YouTube channel consisting of more than one personality. There are two main points in this topic, the first of which would not be using the term leader lightly. Remember, you have to show dominance, and nothing gets the job done quicker than fear. The second point would be to keep your crew on task and occasionally / legally conscious. And it's always important to value your crew's input.
I haven't eaten in 3 days.
Okay, back to work.
M. Strain Jr. I reached out to this guy after watching because I couldn't believe it. Sure enough, he tried to light like me. He wore a V-neck shirt like I sometimes do. He tried to do the hair like me, failed, which made it even funnier, purposefully grew a beard to look like me, flapped his hands and his arms around, something I'm cursed with, and is a running joke in these videos.
This fake episode of The Basic Filmmaker is brought to you by Parody. On today's episode, I'm going to review for you the Canon 18-55mm zoom lens. Now this lens, I've heard, takes great pictures on its own, but no matter how I fiddled with these buttons and turned this little thingamajig, I still can't take any good pictures with it. However, where it really excels is in its image stabilization.
DIY camera guy thought this was the best funny impersonation of me. The flailing hands are great, and the image sterilization, the way it was shot, was funny. Noptop thought this was a really nice parody and liked the humor. Dave Dugdale also considers this one of the top entries. I fully agree. Rick Armstrong. His kid did the voiceover. I want to hire the kid. Like others, I can tell Rick put some serious time into this. I really like this one.
Ever find yourself running out?
Today's episode is brought to you by time. There's never enough.
Just build this simple device.
And you'll find yourself with a pot full of time. Spend time with your loved ones.
I hope this helps, and thanks for watching.
Courtney Lee. Oh man, what makes this funny for me is he reacts to things happening around him, and it's just a bit off. I don't know if this was intended, but that's what made it funny for me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's show. Today's show is all about... safety. Today's show is about safety.
Peter Pesuelo. Peter is doing a parody of an episode where I say, I'm not a sound guy, over and over. He must have figured out I love stupid puns that would make a 10-year-old giggle.
This episode of The Basic Filmmaker is brought to you by time constraints. So let me make one thing clear. Two actually. One, I am not a fun guy. Not a fun guy. Not a fun guy. I am not a fun guy. I hope I've made that perfectly clear. Now, the second point is, these are fun guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a filmmaker. Okay, I am a fun guy.
DIY camera guy thought this was a good parody of the show. I fully agree. Anthony DiRocco. This is one of the first submissions.
Today's episode of The Acidic Filmmaker is brought to you by snakes. Ever wonder how you could make a movie?
Yeah!
Truth is, you can't without a red epic.
What?
That's right, anything else won't get any views on the tube.
YouTube. Aww.
That's why I shoot all of my footage on a
Red Epic.
Plus, I've got money.
I asked him about that scrolling text at the end, and I found it was a recipe online for making Coca-Cola. It just made it funnier. Noptop thought it was a really good use of classic humor and parody. I fully agree. J. Philip Van Heijkoop. So he does me as a, well, you gotta check it out. I loved how creative this was, and check the light reflections on the face. Really cool idea, and makes me laugh every single time.
Today's episode of the Basic Filmmaker is sponsored by fire? Seriously? On the day that we're made out of cardboard? What? No. Go away. What the hell is wrong with these sponsors? Oh, well, at least we have a fire protection system. No, wait!
DIY camera guy liked the animation and thought the whole fire bit was really funny. Everyone I've shown this to just lolls. Rusting willpower. This is just freaking funny. I laugh every time I watch it. There are so many funny things here.
This episode of White Trash Filmmaker is brought to you by Baloney! Duct tape is an inexpensive, versatile piece of gear that every filmmaker should have in his or her toolkit. I constructed this professional quality lens using only duct tape, an empty toilet paper roll, plastic wrap, and a used coffee filter. Your results may vary. Oh, my mustache.
DIY camera guy thought it was great. Loved the White Trash Filmmaker. Baloney, duct tape, X on the wall, and all the hand movements. Nop-Top agreed. He thought this one was really funny and creative, and so do I. Peter Chapman. The voice in this had me right away. Then the background vocals. Then when I saw me, I laughed my ass off, and I still do. Every time I watch it. Really creative.
This episode of the Filmmaker is brought to you by the shirts in my closet. Ever wonder why you don't have razor sharp images? Today on the Filmmaker, we're looking at lenses! Lenses! You need to capture great images with some sweet glass. If you don't have a cinema lens, you won't have good film. These lenses, you can capture images like these. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, me as a Muppet. Nop-Top really liked this one and commented that Peter could have a pretty legit channel using this character. I agree, I'd love to see more like this from the guy. Brian Weith. This is just so, well, really good. Here, just have a watch.
This episode of the Not So Basic Filmmaker is brought to you by sliders. Let's look at a few sliders you should avoid using on your next big boy filmmaking project. The PVC slider, the string slider, the Lego slider, the wiffle ball slider, the Konova yet to be named Autopan slider tool thingy is simply the best choice for adding awesomeness to your next big boy filmmaking project. I hope that helps, and thanks for watching.
That's a wrap.
For those not in the States, those little hamburgers are called sliders. DIY camera guy thought this was the best overall imitation of the show, and like the imitation of the set design and quality, Nop-Top found this one humorous, informative, and very good overall. Dave Dugdale considered this could be one of the winning entries. Vidzavovic. Sorry I murdered your name. This is really funny, and it's really well done.
This episode of the Basic Filmmaker is brought to you by Red Recording Light. How to make your film commercial video if you have no camera. Option 1, stealing. Don't do that, you'll just get in trouble. Option 2, vegetables. You can always shoot a potato, but then your image will look like this. Option 3, get a friend. The easiest thing is to have a friend who owns a camera. Convince him to be your camera operator. I hope it helps, and thanks for watching. Ha ha ha, that's a wrap. My dear Watson, this seems to be a potato.
Nop-Top really appreciated the humor, effort, and the production that went into this one. I did too, it was great. And there you go, even with the help from Dave Dugdale and Nop-Top and DIY camera guy and even a few others, thank you. I still couldn't decide. All 16 entries that qualified did what I asked them to do. They followed the rules, they did comedy, and they made me laugh. I wish I had 16 awards to hand out. Seriously, I watched all these videos, no exaggeration, at least 50 times, one after the other. Last night and today, I made myself choose a couple of entries and watch these over for 3 hours straight. I still couldn't decide, so I took the only route I could. I threw the top entries into this hat. based solely on the ones that made me laugh over and over. So the winner of the yet-to-be-named Konova Auto Pan Tilt Slider is Brian Weith. Well done and congratulations, sir. I'll be contacting you to get all the details needed for Konova to ship this item to you. And to all the other qualifying contestants, thank you. You did a great job and you should be proud, every one of you. It really says something that I had such a hard time choosing. To Dave Dugdale, Knob Top, and DIY Camera Guy, thank you for taking your valuable time to help. And whew, I am glad that's over. No more contest video for me, it's too damn hard. Okay, in the next couple episodes, I'll cover some high-end filmmaking techniques that you can pull off with a single camera. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. This is my 100th episode. I want to thank everyone watching for their support, kind comments, and making this channel a safe haven for all filmmakers of any skill level. I really enjoy helping other filmmakers in any way I can, and I will continue to do so. Cheers.
That's a wrap.